let's take a look now at our items catalog. We're still at the main. We saw earlier our styles catalog. We're now looking at the items catalog. Very similar to the styles catalog. See, I can navigate from register to register with these buttons. If I look down here, I see that I have 415 records in my items catalog, and I'm looking at record number 7. Now, my items catalog, of course, is a lot larger than my styles catalog. If for a given style we have 3 colors and 8 sizes, that means I have 24 items that belong to that style. So obviously my items catalog is going to be a lot larger than my styles catalog. The catalog is very similar. As we discussed earlier, the toolbar across the top looks the same. And I also have this matrix button, just like I had in the styles catalog, where if I press this button, my matrix opens up for this particular style that the item belongs to, and I can consult, as we've seen, my stock levels per item. That's the size color combination per store for this particular style. Now what's interesting is, in addition to that, at the item level, I also have this button over here that looks like a file cabinet, which is my Cardex or audit button. And when I press that, I can see audit log or audit trail for this particular item. And I can see over here I've got different columns. I've got my store column. I can see, for example, looking at the Robson store, I can come down here and I can see that at the moment I should have 18 of this item in stock. This is a, if I look over here, this is a style Calanda color black size 5. That's the item I'm looking at. I should have 18 of those in stock right now in my Robson store, right? The reason I should have 18 is, if I come back to the top, I can see, well, on November 1st, I had an initial quantity of 0 in stock, and I received 8, which took me up to 8 in stock. On November 1st at 1:38 p.m., I received another 6 items, which took me up to 14 in stock. And then on November 1st, I sold one of these items, which took me down to 13. And then I sold another 2, which took me down to 11, and so on. And I can see exactly why I have 18 in stock at the moment. Now these columns, if you notice, I can group this information by date with a click of the button right there. That gets grouped by date. I can group these by document type. I can see all my invoices first, then my L-slips, then my receipts. And of course I can also go back and group by store. I can see, for example, that at the moment I should have 11 pairs of a black size 5 Calanda shoe in stock. So this audit button is very useful because it literally uncovers all of the data. There's no mystery involved. If the system tells you you should have 18 in stock, you know exactly why you should have 18, and you have the audit trail. And this audit trail can go back literally years to the first time you started using XpertMart, and you can see all of the transactions and movements that have been affecting inventory since then. Okay. Now let's take a look at our query capabilities or query functions. This is if I want to consult the database and extract specific information. Now there's 2 different queries I can do. One is what we call a lookup by example or a query by example. This is a fairly simple query. This I can do a query through any one of these fields that appears in this catalog. The first step I need to do is with this button right here, this white paper, is I clear the catalog. And I can now look through any one of these fields. For example, if I come over to the style name field and I scroll, all of the styles in my style catalog will appear. There's the brick boot and the Escalade shoe and the Gabby sneaker and so on. If I keep moving down, and if I look for my Gabby shoe, if I select that and then I press this button over here, look up by example, the magnifying glass, I see down here that out of 415 total records, that's 415 items in my items catalog, 22 of these belong to the Gabby style, and I'm looking at them here. Here's a red size 6, a red 6.5, a red 7, and so forth. So the system very quickly extracted all of the records belonging to the Gabby style, and then they're here for me to look at. Now if I want to go back to looking at all of the registers in the catalog, then with this I button over here, I can see all of the records once again. Now I can do the same, just like we did a search through style name, we can also look through another field. If I clear the form there, we can look through colors, for example, and we can say show us every black item. And if I press on the magnifying glass, I see that out of 415 total items in my catalog, 139 have the color black, and I can scroll through and look at the different black items there. Now if I want to do more sophisticated queries or lookups, then I want to press this button right here, which opens our Expert Query tool, and here I can define certain parameters, and the system will execute that query according to these parameters. For example, I can say find me every item whose item price is greater than, and I see right here that XpertMart's already done a quick mini query, and I already have every price option existing here that I can choose from. So let's find every item whose price is larger than $44.95, and if I press OK, then I see that out of 415 total records, XpertMart found 301 that obey those parameters. In other words, that the price was larger than $44.95. Now that is a very powerful tool because it allows us to group different parameters. We can put in more than one parameter. So we can say, if we go back to our query tool, show me every item whose price is greater than $44.95 and whose color is less than, and I've got my 18 colors in my catalog there. Of course, I need to be consulting my catalog simultaneously to know which colors correspond to which number, but if I press OK, then I see that I have further restricted my query, and instead of 301 items, I'm down to 290, because now I've said only those items whose price is larger than $44.95 and whose colors are one of the first 15 colors in my catalog. So this is a very powerful tool that we will use later on, particularly when we're designing reports and extracting the information that we're looking for in a particular report.